What's going on, Internet, and welcome to the second Warriors of Light podcast. Today I have with me...
All resolved.
I'm Scott.
And I'm Blake. So today we're going to be talking a little bit about the meta and some spoilers. So let's dig right into it, starting with the Spira Cup. So, this is in New Zealand. We got a little... We only had one Mono Ice, so that was kind of nice. Let's see. Mono Lightning took second, so it's kind of good to see Mono Lightning overtaking Turbo Ice a little bit.
Yeah, it's running that Cypher Adea combo too.
Yeah, dude, like that's a must. That's a must now in Mono Lightning is running your Cypher Adea cards with the backup Adea to just pop shit off the field because I mean it's just like non-damage removal. So I mean it's extremely powerful.
And a lot of people forget because of her enter the field ability. Like she's got a special ability, so that backup Adea can be used for that as well.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't think about that.
I did it to Scott.
Yeah.
No, I did it to Jacob actually, because I just started running that combo and it's working out really well. Actually, I use it way more than I thought. I did a Stenian and then I pulled out my Adea the next turn. It was pretty fun.
That's dirty. Yeah, it's really dirty. I wonder if we're gonna start seeing a lot more Mono Lightning. I mean, we've seen it a lot lately, but I wonder if we're just gonna see it represented a lot more because of that package. Also, this like 3-drop 9k body cane. I've been seeing people running one. I'm assuming it's being used as an Al Cid target to get a quick big body out on the board.
Oh yeah.
Possibly. I think probably more people are just they would probably prefer to pay for it. I think it's like a last choice kind of Al Cid target, but
Right.
It is still a target if needed.
Yeah, get 6k. I mean, at the very least, I mean, you can drop it for 3, then pay 1 in a red mage, and you've got a 9k with haste, coming at you that turn. And I mean, it takes a dark forward to switch control, so I mean that's not going to come up too terribly often.
Right, and that's why it's a really smart 1-drop because like it's got drawbacks, but the fact that you can just run one of, you have it if needed. Otherwise, toss for CP.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Not what it's there for.
And then on top of that, you run it with Lulu, and now it's a 3 cost 10,000.
right.
What?
One thing you don't see too much, because usually whenever you see a one of in the deck, you usually think, oh, that's just there to shut one thing down, or that's that deck's one answer to this one thing, like run one Emperor,
Right.
one
Or
like
a
4-drop
Trickster or
Odin or something. Yeah, and in this case though, it's just like it's a decent card. I mean, it's a really good card that has drawbacks, so you can just run one of so that if the drawbacks aren't there, it's a really good card. And so you're not relying on it, but it's there to help you win more if needed.
Right, yeah, that's a good point. And you can see, like, I've been seeing a lot of these new Lightning decks running these Black Waltz 3s, which is pretty much like running kind of another, what's his name? The 2-drop that deals 3,000. Rigdia? Right, I don't know how to pronounce his name. No.
Wait, 2-drop that deals how much?
3,000 damage to an active forward.
Oh, yeah, I think that's Rigdia does 3,000, yeah.
Rigdia's 3.
So it kind of gives you a couple more of those. What Black Waltz does, it takes 2,000 power off of a forward, and then when it's put into the break zone, it loses another 2,000 power. So, so that's pretty decent there. Yeah, well, I thought that was really interesting, just seeing kind of like where Mono Lightning's coming up, and seeing a lot less ice than we're used to seeing. So that's nice, and also.
Yeah, especially.
I'm sorry.
I was just saying, especially at this event.
Right.
Like,
and
hardly any ice in the top 8 there.
And seeing Scions up there, and then I think it was Dataluma that won it. Yeah, it was Dataluma.
Yeah,
that
Dataluma.
took it.
Yeah, man. That friggin' Jason Z.
Yeah.
I love reading his write-ups on Tumblr and stuff. He's a really solid community member who has a lot of really good write-ups. Like, that's because I played so much Dataluma and such. Reading his write-ups, because he usually runs the Dataluma deck, really helped me plan around mine as well.
Yeah, it's definitely out there. It's definitely contending, and it's very, very strong. So, I mean, until Opus 7 comes out, I mean, it's going to continue just to dominate for a while as well. Which is interesting because people complain about ice so much, but I mean, this deck is really, really strong. It's just less annoying to lose to. I don't know.
Oh no, I rage when I lose to yeah, let's Odin that as quick as we can.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, Dataluma is a freaking monster.
Mm-hmm.
And but yeah, I mean,
literally.
That's the Spirit Cup, and it's cool seeing that New Zealand, of all places, had something like this. So that was really interesting.
Yeah, a lot of big names there. Tony Matthews, Chris Matiski, I think that's how you pronounce it. I get a lot of my deck ideas from his YouTube channel. That's cool. And it was cool seeing him running the Vice Kings coming in the semifinals there. So that was really cool. Yeah,
Vice Kings are awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just wanted to touch on this other North American local qualifier. I think it had 22 people, and we saw 2 mono fire decks top, which I thought was neat and novel. I mean, I don't know what their community's like or anything like that, but it was really cool. Unfortunately, this one did have a couple of ice in the top, and I think it was Vice Kings. No, it was an ice and water. It was more of an ice deck with the water like draw package in it. That took it. So, but yeah, mono fire, guys.
Okay. Yeah, this was in Winnipeg. Cool. Yeah, mono fire got some love in this one. Out of 22 people, mono fire hitting top 8 is really nice.
Yeah. I mean, 1 in the top 4, 1 in the top 8. So I mean, that's pretty awesome. So I think a lot of people want to see this happen and want to see this really be successful. I kind of want to see it piloted like by these guys to see what their game plan was. I mean, we could sit here and build it and like pilot it ourselves, but I wonder what their shtick was, like their gimmick or whatever that was really getting people down. So
you know what I'm saying?
I was thinking the same thing. I want to know what's their gimmick, what's their theme here, because I'm just seeing a bunch of good cards, but I'm not really seeing a running theme. So is it just good stuffs, or is it
in this top 4 fire deck? I'm noticing that they're using Evoker in here, which is honestly the first deck I've ever seen an Evoker other than the Sid Evoker combo. It actually, like, that's a good idea because Fire has a really hard time building backups and has a really hard time retaining backups. And I don't know, just dropping a 2-cost backup then next turn drop for an Evoker.
Right.
It's pretty good because I have a hard, like, when I run mono fire, I have a really hard time building backups. So
yeah.
I just wish I would have ran Dark Lord.
I'm making it work. Making it work,
man. It's gonna be the best card one day, guys. Just watch and see. So yeah, 22-person local qualifier, which we attended a 22-person local qualifier in Texas, which was, I believe, the largest in Texas.
That blows me away.
I think that's what they said. I can't confirm that, but I'm pretty sure that's what we were told, that it was the largest in Texas. So, and it was a shit ton of fun.
Was Houston not there?
Dallas Fort Worth group's a pretty big group.
Yeah,
so
they're amazing.
What doesn't surprise me.
Steve brought his Warriors of Light deck and took a top 8 there, so that was really cool to see. Like something super original actually do very well.
Yeah, you do not see that deck in a lot of other spaces, but he did really well with that.
There was one other person who ran a Warrior Light deck, but it was very different from mine. He like heavily focused on summons, and less on the importance of that bitter end Warrior of Light. So
I got you. So what do you think, like, for you, what was like your success, like breaking into the top cut? I mean, this is all our first local qualifier, so I mean, what was some of the toughest things like you experienced, Steve?
Oh my god. Okay, so
besides the Vice Kings.
Well, the person I lost to, okay, so I went 3-2 in the first bracket. I lost 2 Vice Kings and Scions, and I did not think Scions would be as big of a problem as they ended up being. Vice Kings, he beat me in first bracket, and then he beat me in top 8, and he ended up going to win the entire tournament.
Right.
He ran. Okay, let me talk about Vice Kings first, because he ran it a little bit differently. I'm not just now starting to see Sephiroth kind of break into a thing, but the big combo with Vice Kings is you have all the draw power. You're playing on these cards, and usually you pop out a Nidhogg. Well, this dude ran 3 Nidhoggs and a Sephiroth. Dark Sephiroth, 8 cost that pops back up. He came out. He popped my my Cosmos and blew up my whole field because Warriors of Light, lots of light stuff. So that was very unfortunate. But so that was his like super crazy play. Both times I played him. Every time I played him, we got really, really close. Into the first bracket, it was a close match. But he broke that Cosmos and really messed me up, and I just couldn't come back from that. And then everything was single elimination in the first bracket, and the second in top 8 was all 2 and 3. So those 2 games, I was like 1 turn away from decking him out in the first match.
No.
all I had to do was end my turn and he would have lost. So that because they ramp through their cards real quick with all that draw power. And in the second match, my next turn I was gonna drop Sean Toto on him, and he just kind of got a little bit more momentum. Like I misplayed. I didn't realize that I had more blocking power than I thought, so I misplayed and I could have survived. But so it was kind of stupid. I kind of wish I would have broken through, but it was really close both times. But I also played Scions, and that was the other deck I lost to. And
Yeah, that was
I'm not gonna.
rig.
Scions, they made me sweat because I played him twice. So I played the one against Greg, and he had an entire foil Scion deck, and it was beautiful. Ida, it's a really problem card. Ida, it's a huge problem, and it was very, very hard to fight against. And the way he ran it is he put Amon in there also, and there was I think he did a Warrior of Light too, the Earth Warrior of Light. But he just piloted it really well, and that Ida was just a pain to get out. So like getting them off the field was like top priority, but he just kept attacking, and destroying my stuff before I had Minwu out, which really sucked. But yeah, and then the second time I played against Scions, also a really close match. So I did end up winning in that one though. But yeah, it was Scions. Yeah. Why is this starter deck so good? Oh my god! Ida made me sweat. So
Ida's tough, man, because she's only a 2-drop. So she's a little bit easier to out than other cards, but like she recycles and hits the field so often that you're always having to spend resources to get her out of there. When I played Greg, the one I think he took 2nd in this tournament. Very good player.
He did.
Like. I never let Ida stay on the field, but like I was always playing behind a little bit because those were resources I lost every time she existed, and it was really cheap for him to play. So I was able to put 6 damage on him and not able to close out the game. And honestly, I think that was the difference, was that all the resources I had to spend to out her, and it's unfortunate, but I mean it is what it is, and the deck is very strong, and he's such a good player as well on top of it. So. But ultimately, the tournament was cool, man. Everyone had a great time. It was just a little hot in that little shop, though, for 22 people, though.
Yeah.
And then talking about deck outs, I think we had 2 deck outs, actually 2 or 3 deck outs actually happen.
Scott was one of them.
Yeah, Scott, you decked out once. I think we had another guy, maybe I think in the same round or the round before, who decked out as well.
I think I decked out twice.
You decked out twice?
I decked out, and then the dude dealt me a damage, and I didn't have a deck to take the damage from.
Right.
So it was like a double.
That was Genesis, yeah.
Yeah, that was Genesis that did that to me.
Cold-blooded.
I liked it. It was fun. It was cool to die in so many different ways.
Oh, Jesus.
So it was cool. Like
at the same time.
Vice won overall, and I came in dead last in the overall tournament, and I was running Vice Kings as well. So it was cool to see them on first and last place.
Yeah, it's
you did that on purpose. You could have won.
Definitely important to I guess build your chemistry with your deck, and know like you get a lot of these people, like the guy, I don't remember his name. He was running mono ice because he really wanted to win. But I mean, he might not have had the chemistry or like the repertoire of that deck to do so, because he was good. He definitely topped, but
he's top 4, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he got top. Yeah, he was top 4. Yeah, he didn't.
Yeah, it was top 4. It was on.
Yeah.
It was a mono ice deck in the top 4.
I really wish I would have won that top 8 prize. I mean, top 4 prize. So like top 8 got Okay, so you got 2 packs for participating, and then you got a pack for every win you got. So I got like 7 packs, I think. No, 5 packs, I think. I pulled an Estinian and a Leo. Awesome.
Yeah, thank you, Janice.
He's like part of the car as he touched my pack and I pulled an Estinian. I'm like, well, the dude before me, he touched the pack. He's like, this is gonna be an Estinian, and he pulled a foil Estinian. I'm like, what?
No,
and so I was right behind that. I like touched my cards and he did, and boom, Estinian. I'm like, what? Oh my god! So I was my third Estinian, so I can run a really good mono lightning deck now. Anywho, top 8 got these really cool Baltier sleeves, which are nice, but I really wanted that Warrior of Light promo. So I was, if I would have won that one match in top 4, I would have gotten those Warrior Light promos. And because I'm running Warrior Light deck, come on, y'all, come on. But I ended up ordering them and got them anyway. But I didn't want to.
You can pick them
They're
up
like 10 a pop though, so
yeah, for the full ones.
I could get away from winning them. So, but yeah, it was fun. I really enjoyed it. It was really intense. It was it's nice to be in that like gaming atmosphere again, because like I've done like regionals for Yu-Gi-Oh before, and that was something. And then like coming back and playing with an underdog deck that no one saw coming, and they're like, oh my god, that's a combo, I didn't know that worked. I'm like, yeah. So it was fun. I had so much fun. I really wish we could do it again. I wish we had enough people here to like do these tournaments regularly,
Yeah, I'm very jealous because DFW, Dallas Fort Worth group, they just got their monthly Win-A-Box tournament, and they played Pauper. Like, they have enough people to be like, hey, let's play this off format for our Win-A-Box. Like, we're hoping that as the time of recording, that tomorrow we'll have at least 6 people to do a draft.
Just to throw this out there, they actually posted the event up on FFDecks. There were 22 participants in that Pauper tournament. It was as big as the local qualifiers for awesome. For a Saturday.
Yeah, their Win-A-Box tournament is a big deal. So
what's a pop? What did you call it?
Pauper.
What is that?
It's Pauper. Pauper is a format used in, I think, multiple TCGs, where you're using lower quality cards. The format for FFTCG is you can only use commons and rares.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But like, for instance, like Magic the Gathering, I think you only use commons.
Right.
So things like that. So they did that, and I think Mono Fire actually won that, or no? Let's see.
Yeah, it was Mono Fire by the guy Andrew Pringle. That's his name.
And Genesis came in second.
Yeah, Genesis.
So close.
Yeah, some dude ran a Pauper Dragoon that was pretty cool.
Oh, I could see that working, definitely. Yeah.
It's only like really, really hard to get Dragoon card would be Estinian. The rest are all commons and rares. So
yeah, I'm surprised. Like, he ran like the Leela Viking engine, but he did not run the Warrior of Light that gives the standard units a boost. Like, with all those Dragoons, you'd think that'd be really nice.
And I like this guy's deck name, $5 of pain and some change.
Yeah.
Earth Water is pretty cool.
That's a beautiful deck name. Goals.
Yeah. Definitely. I'll put the link down in the description, excuse me. So if y'all want to check out these Pauper decks, like if you have an upcoming Pauper tournament at your locals, y'all might want to check that out. But yeah, these guys are top notch at what they do. So yeah, 22 people at a Pauper Win-A-Box tournament. That's pretty damn cool.
Yep, man. If we had a Win-A-Box, that would
be know, right? Oh my god. I just wish we can get our community together, because we have like decent sized player base, but no one's ever like consistently coming for them. So
yep.
One day.
Always be us. But yeah, but if you're also another shout out, like I really wanted to give to was this article on Meta Potion. Like, we're talking about going to a local qualifier and everything, and a lot of us have trouble, and you have trouble bubbling and just getting your mind right. This article, I'm not going to read it. We're not going to go over it, but really has some good like tips and like motivation and inspiration to really get out there. So big shout out to Meta Potion for that. I really appreciate it. So get out there, guys. Like, don't get down because you're bubbling or you're not making top cuts and things like that. Keep practicing, keep playing, get in the lab, play test, so you can get out there and get some wins. That's all I wanted to say about that.
and I believe this article is by Gregory Cole and Matt Akimoto, those are some players that see a ton of Crystal Cups.
Right. So they know their shit and they know what they're talking about. So
yeah, I mean, yeah, they got a big old, this huge article.
Right.
What am I trying to say?
It's an article, man.
It's an article.
It's a written piece of information. But yeah, moving on from that bit. Yeah, locals was fun. Now this past week in news, we had some spoilers. We had a couple spoilers for cards. So we got our I think they're all commons, except for the Bartz. The Bartz is legendary. The Lulu, Yule.
I think it's a hero.
And Bartz. What's that? What'd you say?
I think that Lulu's a hero.
No,
she's common. I'm
oh, really?
At the card now. She's
okay,
common.
cool. That's so good too.
So yeah, we got Lulu. When she enters the field, choose one forward. You may put one backup other than Lulu you control into the break zone. If you do, deal it 7,000 damage. I don't know overall how good this is going to be. I mean, I guess at face value, it's pretty cool, and it might be a popper format type card, if nothing else, because you run like you said, the invokers. You know, you get little one-drop backups and just use them as fuel to just pop things for 7k all day long, and you couple that with something that attacks and deals damage. You know, you can start popping stuff off the board.
I think this will probably see. I want to see it used in fire lightning decks, because throw this down, pop a Fusoya, get the Fusoya's effect, and you can have this in the deck. So if you want it to run the other backup Lulu, I know there's 2 Lulu backups, but run the heroic one, then you have this Lulu in there for an extra Thundaga play.
Yeah,
so
that's a good point.
More options.
Mm-hmm. As I say, I'm trying to think like Fusoya. I'm like, oh, the other Fusoya.
The other Fusoya, the lightning.
I'm like, that's traditionally a water deck card. I don't know why. I'd rather run lightning, but whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a pretty cool card. Like the nice video game art on it, and she's still a 2-drop backup, so that makes her a lot less bad. Like, it makes any backup a lot less bad is when it's a freaking 2-drop. I can't stand like 3-drops. They're so awkward, and it's like
they are pretty awkward. Yeah,
and they're always in your opening hand, the only one you can play.
And usually, like, depending on how your deck runs, I don't ever want to go turn 1, drop 1 backup, turn 2, like spend the whole turn dropping like a 3-drop backup. Usually, by that time, I'm looking at 3-drop forwards and beyond. Like, you don't have a whole lot of time to build up your back line before things start coming at you hard, and you got to worry about your forwards. This game is very interesting in that aspect of you're not really playing at a curve every game because you can drop your best guy turn 1.
Right.
So,
exactly.
It's very interesting.
Next we have, how do you pronounce her name? Yule? I didn't play 13.
Yeah, Yule, just like a Yule log.
Let's see. She costs one ice energy, and you dull her. Throw her in the break zone. Search for one forward. You could tutor any forward and put under the top card of your deck, so you know it's coming next turn. Which is, I think, putting it under the top card prevents Fusoya. Well, no. I guess if you want to dump something off into the damage zone, you could. So I think it's there to prevent like maybe some abuse by putting it under the top card. Like, its intended use is to be drawn. So.
Yeah, it's definitely intended to be drawn, so it does prevent some prevents EX burst abuse. Right. However, keep note, this does not say you have to use this only on your turn. So
good call.
if your opponents have a full field and they're going to hit you, you can drop your EX burst card on your second underneath and just let them have at it. If you have a lightning Odin 7-drop and they attack you twice, that's something you get to destroy. Oh yeah, that's right. It does have to be a forward. Yeah. My bad. But yeah, there's plenty of forwards that can do crazy things with EX bursts.
Yeah, but
like Adia, like we started off talking about.
Yeah, Adia, that's a really good point. Yeah, and she's a 2-drop as well, so a lot still is just as useful. But
she reminds me a lot of her first iteration. I think she was a 2-drop, and it was like pay 0 because it was an activated ability. Look at the top card of your deck or something like that. I think that's what it was. But essentially, she had this other downside, whereas like if she's put from the field to the break zone, you remove the top like 10 cards of your library from the game. And it's just one of those where it's like the ability's kind of cool, but no one's really going to run her because of the repercussions. And this one is kind of similar. It was like the ability's pretty cool, but there's just better cards out there.
Right, exactly. I think that's what we're going to see with this card here is like, and these first two cards are commons, so I mean, we're not expecting the world here.
As far as commons go, though, they're really cool.
Right.
I like this card, and I don't want to like, I'm not trying to shit on it by saying like, oh, there's other better cards. Like, yeah, there's better cards, but it still is neat and could totally see some play. It gives people ideas to make neat little decisions as to what they want to do.
Well, and also like with common cards, you know, don't always discount them because, I mean, one, they use competitively, but I mean, work on combos with them because, I mean, you might have to build a Pauper deck one day and like show up to win a box Pauper tournament, and you know, you're looking to win that box of cards, and all you got at your disposal is common and rare. So,
or if you're playing a draft.
Yeah, or yeah, playing in a draft and you pull it like, oh yeah, I know what to do with this card. So, but yeah, cool card. And then big boy Bart's over here.
Boy Bart.
He's a warrior light. Yeah.
He only costs 3, so I'll give him that.
Yeah, he's already got a bunch of combos. Just like ignoring his own special abilities, being a 3-drop Warrior of Light. He's ready to go in a Warrior of Light deck. It doesn't have a whole lot of synergy on his own with them, but he can be brought back by Light Wall. He can be supported by Warrior of Light abilities. Like, this is a great job to give a 3-drop Bart's.
Well, there's plenty of synergy with it. It's just the only thing is like from, you know, my best deck is a Warrior Light deck. Sitting here looking at this card, it's good. You can put it in there, but to run a Bart's like this, you'd have to run more than just this one.
Right. Yeah, that's what I meant. Like, this card itself doesn't add to the overall synergy of the deck, but it does fit in.
Right. So I mean, it would be really cool, but forward space is just already really, really tight.
Yeah,
so, because there's already, you know, the staple cards you have to run in. You want to run in a Warrior Light deck, and there's a lot of people who just run Warrior Light decks as like it'll be Earth Water mostly, and it'll still be the 2 light cards. It'll be Raphia, it'll be Wall and Ingus. So I mean, that would free up some space, but then you're putting in a 3rd element. Then I mean, I run a 4-color, 5-color, kind of light, but it's just the backup space. I mean, the forward space is just really, really tight already. So that's the one thing, the downside that I saw to this card, because I'm like, oh, yeah, I would love to run another Warrior Light because I've been wanting another Warrior Light card to come out, something that would fit into the deck, you know, make it even better. But it's like,
you know, one thing that gives me hope. I don't know if they will do it. Because Bart's, like, he is the most freelancer of the party that you see, but this gives us a chance to see the other remaining members of the party classified as Warriors of Light.
That's true. Yeah,
I would love to see that.
More
but most likely
love.
we'll still get them as Pirates and Princess and Dawn Warriors. But still.
Right. Now, the other thing that kind of I'm kind of wondering is if they're going to do like some kind of backup or some kind of monster or something that like you tap it and you search for Bart's.
There's probably going to be some kind of Category 5 searcher.
Yeah, Category 5 searcher is what I think.
Because he has all these specials, but I'm not sure if you guys like run into, you know, I'm sure you obviously read it all. But like the last one, you can only play it if you've activated the other 2 specials. So you're talking about like ditching 3 Bart's from your hand just to get all 3 effects. Yep. That's like, what?
And if this is the only Bart's that you run, you're going to have to, in the same turn, drop the other 2 and then use something to recover it from the break zone.
Yeah.
So it's very powerful but very difficult to pull off, and I think a lot of people some people might immediately overvalue the card because of how cool it could be, but still some people will undervalue it because of how hard it is to pull off. And I think just looking at the first 2 abilities, those are really solid. You know, just at a whim dealing something 5,000, it's all right. Could come in clutch, and same thing with dual wield, giving him first strike and setting his power at 1,000. That's really cool. That's going to boost his power even more. Yeah, I'm sorry, 10,000, not 1,000. So that's going to set his power up that much more and gives him a lot of options.
Also, I like so look at his first ability. When he enters the field, choose up to 2 Category 5 characters and activate them. You think Opus 7 is going to bring a bunch of Category 5 support?
Yeah, Opus 7, that's what a lot of people were thinking with like Opus 6 had all the 2 support.
Right.
You had Guy, Furion, etc. That's what they're thinking is going to happen with Category 5. And I've heard some people say, don't forget, there's a lot of Category 5 characters out there already in the form of standard units. So there's plenty of standard unit backups. So you could potentially play this for a net cost of 1. And that's something that Bartz has always been good with. He always like reactivates something, or usually wind characters when he enters the field. So in this case, it's Category 5 characters. So it's a bit more specific, but I'm hoping, given the success of the Category 2 decks, I'm hoping that Category 5 will be at least on the same power level, because I love Final Fantasy 5 and I want to see it work out really well.
Yeah, I never played 5, so...
The art on this card is so beautiful, and there's like homage to Amano in there, because like, that bird in the top right corner is like very Amano style, and all like the floody like washy colors in the background. I'm like, yes.
I want to see a Boko the Chocobo card.
A Boko the Chocobo.
Because that's Bart's Chocobos. Boko the Chocobo.
That's
I want to see him come in and be like, hey, you think Bart's is cool? Well, Boko's going to kick your Chocobo decks into the next gear. Into the next Metal Gear.
Well, we have so much Chocobo support, so I mean, it's likely. I mean, people love Chocobos and Moogles, man. So you might get Boko the Chocobo, the legend.
You just can't take the name seriously.
Boko. I mean,
Bart's was called Butts for quite a while. So
yeah. But
maybe this Category 5 stuff will get a bunch of support, and I'll actually play the game, talk about it, and let's see. And then we got another 3 here, and the big. Oh, I'm sorry, that's not 3. That is definitely 5 cards, and we got big boy Noctis. Man, everyone's ready for Final Fantasy 15. You think they'll drop a starter in Opus 7, a 15 starter?
They already have
the only starters are the dual deck that they're releasing.
Okay, so we are confirmed to have like.
That's right. It's like the Emperor versus Furion deck.
But
yeah,
there's 2 decks that's coming out next set. They come together as a package. One has the Emperor on it. The other one has Furion in it.
Yeah, but what does that have to do with Noctis?
No, well, I mean, it's starter-wise. Those are the starter decks that are coming out.
So that we already know.
Those are the
what
2
those are. Well, that's disappointing. I'm tired of seeing Furion, dude. Like every time you turn around, the dude's everywhere.
He's got a lot of iterations, but he is.
He's only got like 3 cards, y'all.
I just feel like I see him all the time.
I'm happy to see more of him.
Yeah, you did. Wait, you have a Furion?
Yeah, I have a Furion.
Yeah.
So I think they're. No, I have the rare Furion. I don't have the good one.
Okay.
But anyway, I don't even know.
Well, you came in Opus 6, so that's another thing to think about too. So that's why you see a lot of him. So
now, one thing to draw your attention to this is the Dissidia artwork for Noctis. So whether it still remains to be seen. I don't know if you remember me talking about this before, Steve, but I told you about something I read, I think on Reddit, where people were saying there's a chance that we may never see Final Fantasy 15 cards because of something copyright. But I was like, man, I would really assume that we'd at least see his Dissidia iteration, because he's in Dissidia. They have all the other characters from Dissidia, so they might as well put him out too. And here he is. So I'm hoping this means we'll get more as well.
Well, here's the thing I'm thinking about. Okay, so if they went through the trouble to put him in Dissidia because of copyright issues, they can do the same thing for the card game, because it's all first party. You know, I know it's a weird second party card. I guess I don't know, but I mean, he's probably gonna be in Kingdom Hearts too. So I think they're gonna have the licensing figured out within the next 2 sets.
Maybe.
So
I don't want to touch Japanese copyright with a 10-foot pole.
I mean, I wouldn't know.
Do they have really bad copyright laws?
I remember someone using the example of especially with their music, they're like, man, the way their copyright works when it comes to royalties, even the janitor in the building gets some kind of cut from it. So it's like they're it's like video game companies, and most notably like Nintendo and other Square Japanese-based companies, are very protective with their copyright. And I think whenever it came to Final Fantasy 15, now of course this could be coming out of nowhere and I could be completely wrong, but I think it was because it went through so many different iterations and like different developers and things like that. So many people had their hands on it, that where some people might have the character rights, some other people might have some other kind of rights, and it's a little bit back and forth. And I'm assuming like there's like, yeah, it's Square, they gotta get a handle on their biggest new game and get it out in their trading card game. Like, I'm fine with them taking their time on it, but if it never happens, I will be incredibly disappointed in Square and be like, really, you couldn't pull that off?
Yeah, very disappointing for sure.
Yeah, but I think it'll come eventually. It's just going to take a while.
Let's talk about some of these other cards that are in this picture, not just Noctis.
Yes.
So what? Okay, so I think that's a Go-Go, the one on the to the right of Noctis.
No, that is Zizat.
Who's that?
Zizat is a Dawn Warrior from Final Fantasy V.
Okay.
So that's another taste of Final Fantasy V support. So if they have all the Dawn Warriors, that would be really cool, because their iterations right now are relatively weak. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Zizat was an ice card. So to see him as Earth is really cool, because like the old Dawn Warriors in the other decks, it's like, I think Kelger or something like that, he's lightning. Dorgan, you're probably familiar with Dorgan because he's like the best one. He's the wind card where he's like dull, remove him from the game, remove another sword from the game. Like they're all these different colors, and seeing Zizat now in Earth, if he still has like Dawn Warrior synergy, it could mean we could then use Dawn Warriors in other decks, because Zizat being ice just made him almost useless, because you couldn't run into the other stuff together. They were all different colors.
I'd be happy with a whole set, like a deck for Dawn Warriors, you know, like something that's like a single color. Or, I mean, well, I guess you could like Warrior Light it and just do multiple colors and then make a deck like out of it.
Yeah, I want to see it get some support, and I want to see it work together. Like, it makes sense that the original one was like ice, the other one was lightning, and blah, blah, blah. But I want to see it work mechanically, not just thematically.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
What about these other cards?
Well, you have what's it called? Coral, the little leopard there in the front. It's obviously coral. You got coral in the front, and that's obviously a monster. It's got the monster thing in the left and the name. So we'll see one of those for sure. That'd be pretty cool. That's a very iconic monster in the entire series.
I can't recognize the art though, so I don't know if it's going to come from one of the new focuses in the new set. It could be like Rings of Fate or Brave Exvius. So it could be from that. Like we saw in Opus 6, we saw the monsters focus heavily on Type 0. Right. So this new one could be it could be an indicator that we're going to get another group of monsters from a new group of game. And I kind of like how they do that, where they group the monsters together from a similar game when they release them in different sets. So that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. And it's a lightning card, so some sort of damage ability probably, or something like that. Or some sort of removal, maybe.
And what about these other two cards?
I don't know. I don't know who the person is in the top. I don't know if that's... There's no standard unit indicated, because, well, obviously we know who two of these people are, so they wouldn't be a standard unit. This looks like maybe...
I think I don't know. I saw a comment earlier. I'm looking for it now. Must have been on a different post, because it has a lot. Here we go. Red guy is Soul from Dimensions, and the girl is Chelinka from Ring of Fates.
Okay.
So they did have a Ring of Fates, and it's a game I never got around to playing. I think I own it, but I never played it. Game? Yeah, Final Fantasy. It's Crystal Chronicles.
On the
It's a DS game. This one is on the DS.
Okay, I played the one on the GameCube.
But it's from the GameCube universe, and that's you can kind of tell from the Moogle on there, because that's like a Moogle, Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles style Moogle.
Okay.
And then with the guy at the top being Soul from Dimensions, I think that's a mobile game, Final Fantasy Dimensions, and I think it was a very it's a regular Final Fantasy game, kind of like old school Final Fantasy game that was also released on mobile. Or, I mean, that was exclusively released on mobile, and I played most of it, and I think at that point my phone died and I had to reset my progress and I stopped playing. But it was really cool. It didn't have any crappy microtransactions or anything,
How
so
old is it?
it was really nice to see. It's several years old, but not like super old or anything like that. Within the past decade for sure.
That's
Yeah.
neat. Yeah, it seems like they pull a lot of characters and a lot of just stuff in general from their mobile properties.
Hmm.
I wonder if that's maybe an advertising thing to try to get people aware of their mobile properties and trying to get that money flow going.
Might be. I wouldn't be surprised, but at the same time, it's kind of 50-50 for me. I wouldn't be surprised if they're trying to be like, hey, you like the art? Well, come play the game. Or at the same time, if they're like, well, let's not oversaturate the
Right.
Final Fantasy VII, so let's throw out some lesser known things.
Oh, I mean, if that is their plan, I mean, I'm not blaming them by any means.
Yeah.
It's just maybe they should advertise FFTCG on their mobile platforms while they're shoving
For real.
microtransactions in your face. So,
My God. Yes, definitely. Like, I'm not afraid to step on toes or anything. I'm not expecting this podcast to get me shaking hands with the Square Enix CEO or anything. So I'm happy to say, like, man, screw the microtransactions in mobile games and especially in Square games. Like, I stopped playing Record Keeper because I was just like, man, this thing wants me to put $10 in like every other week. I'm tired of this. Like, and I was in college at the time. I'm just like, I don't have money to put on this. I could take this money and put it towards a full game for $60 or something. And
Well, let me ask you this: would you rather pay outright for it?
yes, absolutely. I'll put this out right now. I know it's a bit off topic, but since we're on it, Pokemon Quest, I dropped $30 as soon as I bought it because I could get all the DLC with it, or like all the microtransaction-y stuff with it, and I am very glad I did. I had a wonderful experience for it. I did not regret dropping $30 on it. But if it would have been like pay $3 here, pay $3 there, my opinion of it would be infinitely lower. So yes, Square, if you're listening, give us an option. Just buy your stuff outright. I will give you $30 to $40 for a mobile game if it's worth it.
well, and if
Well-
you're going to advertise your microtransactions so hard, at least advertise the card game.
Yes,
Just do that. Thanks.
please. Anyway.
Oh man.
Knife hand. Square Enix.
But what are you guys' opinions on the game focusing, not, I wouldn't say focusing, but featuring heavily some of the more obscure games and lesser known characters?
I like him doing it. It means more cards. It means more different, like, there's only so many times you can make like a cloud. How many clouds are out now? Like 10 of them.
A lot.
That's a good point.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
So I think this is good because I'm, like you only have the pool of characters that you have. So how long are you gonna,
Right, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, no, I like it. As someone who like missed out on anything pre PlayStation 1, like I went back and eventually played them on like I played 4. I think it was the only one I went back and played. But I mean, all those old games, like I am not familiar with the characters. I'm just not familiar with the whole worlds and everything. So it's nice to at least experience a little bit of that in the card game, and like people get to telling me stuff about it and all that, and that's a lot of fun. I mean, as somebody I only played Final Fantasy 14, and while we were in Dallas, Pringle, he started talking about the game, and like he started really getting into the story for 14. I'm like, this is an MMO, but I mean, it's got a really interesting story. I mean,
Yes.
and I would have never paid attention to it, so I'm glad somebody did. So it's cool that like with these more obscure properties, like it brings interesting conversations, and just for learning about more Final Fantasy stuff. So it's like getting to experience all these things like over again or for the first time in a different way. So, yeah.
I like that. I really appreciate, like, of course they can dive in as deep as they want. I'm just still very appreciative of how deep they have dived in for some of their obscure stuff. Like, I love Tactics Advance and Tactics Advance 2. And there were characters in there I was just like, oh yeah, I forgot about that character. That's cool. Like, I'm like, I love this game. And even I'm just like, oh yeah, Ewan, that he was part of the game. Neat. And so I'm just like, wow, they don't have to do this. It's clear that they're not just paying homage. They're incorporating these games and treating them almost equally to the bigger name games. And and as a fan of those games, it makes me super excited. And to see, so far as I know, most people are more excited to see one of the obscure games, and I haven't heard too many people being like, man, I don't recognize these people, blah, blah, blah. Like, I haven't really heard any complaints about that.
Well,
So,
heck, look at like some of the bigger cards. Like Alua, that's from Tactics
Tactics
Advanced.
A2.
Yeah, Dell, another really good card
Mm-hmm.
from Tactics A2. So I mean, it's cool, and it's what's interesting is with each card just in general is like you can kind of like each game almost has its own personality, even like, and they do a good job of like translating that to the card. So like, oh, that's pretty neat. And I like that a lot. Decidia is another good one. You know, when you see Decidia art, you know, it's like you really feels like it's Decidia instead of just like, you know, this character from that game, which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, yeah, excellent question. Like I'm really excited to see what else they pull out. And like, I didn't even think about Crystal Chronicles. It reminds me of like, do they have any Master Quest cards?
I think there might be Master Quest in this upcoming set. I saw a comment about. Not sure.
That'd be cool.
But that is definitely one of their lesser known. That was on like Game Boy or something, or was it Super Nintendo?
Originally the Super Nintendo that could have had a Game Boy release. I'm not sure.
Okay, because those are. Was it Master Quest or Mystic Quest?
Mystic, yeah, it might have been Mystic Quest. No, Master Quest was Zelda.
Zelda, yeah. If I'm not mistaken, I think Mystic Quest was like a sort of simplified Final Fantasy that they released over in the West to be like, here, you guys can't handle the original, idiots. So you take this little slice. And then people are like, oh, this is kind of fun. And they're like, you mean you want more?
No. This is successful?
Yeah.
Yeah. That would be cool. Mystic Quest. I want Mystic Quest. Screw Final Fantasy 15.
Die in a fire.
Probably be in the vast minority on that one.
Nah, man. Mystic Quest is where it's at.
I want a Chocobros deck, dude. What's wrong with you?
Chocobros.
Dude, what if they had an iteration? You know how, because they can release multiple of the same character. They had each of the Chocobros being like their own character and their own strengths, and then they had another version of them where they were all good with Chocobos. That would be so cool.
Chocobo.
Like if this party attacks with a Chocobo, then this.
There wasn't a lot of Chocobo. There wasn't like any. I don't think there was any Chocobo comment in that game.
Talking about Chocobos, they need to put like really, really obscure characters, like the Chocobo breeder from Final Fantasy X, the one that you like. He's
Clasco?
Like, is that his name?
Well, Clasco was the Crusader who turned into
the Chocobo Knight. Who's like, and you make a decision. He doesn't always become a Chocobo breeder, but
that's
but
true.
Clasco. He should be a card. I want to see characters.
I think
like
I mentioned him on our last podcast.
Did you?
We were talking about like obscure cards we want to see. I would love to see Clasco.
Clasco. All right, Square. You heard it here. Clasco. Make it happen. Chocobos. Make it happen even more.
But that's one thing I'm really excited about is like, not only do they have still plenty of main characters to go, but there's still so many side characters they can throw in from these games, so that like, I don't know how long they're planning on making this game a thing. I mean, they might just cut the cord or pull the plug if it's stops being profitable or whatever next year. But I'm hoping that they're planning like way down the line. Like, let's keep it going. Let's not just stop after the main characters are done. Like,
keep absolutely. And right now there's so many. I mean, they got a wide range of characters to make cards out of. So, I mean, heck, we were just talking about like last time cards we wanted to see, and after the fact I thought about Anima as a summon. I'm like, there's like so many summons that they haven't even made yet. I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah, Final Fantasy VI is rife with summons, and they've only touched on a couple.
Right. They've touched on like the summons that are like in every game, Odin, Leviathan, stuff like that. So that's pretty cool. Yeah. We're pretty close to time. Y'all ready to wrap this up? Y'all have any final thoughts? Comments?
Just really want Final Fantasy 15 cards.
Final Fantasy 15.
I mean,
Top 15
Noctis.
Mystic Quest, man.
No, I think it's kind of weird. Okay, so I didn't want to talk about this. I save it for the podcast. I think it's weird that he's an Earth card. Why is he an Earth card? Why isn't he like lightning with haste? Because he freaking like throws his sword and like jumps all over the place. You know? I don't know.
Does he do that?
I don't know.
No, he does. Well, he does it in the
Earth
city,
card,
and
like
he does it in actual 15. I mean, of course, you already know that, but I don't know. His first summon was Ramu. You know, I don't know.
I don't
I thought
know,
it was
man.
Titan.
No, Titan was second.
Was it?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I guess we'll have to replay the game and find out.
Shows how much I know.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Noctis, don't be Earth, even though you're gonna be Earth. But well, you
It's
know,
not too late.
if they start pumping out Final Fantasy 15 cards, there's gonna be more than one Noctis. So
I'm sure.
Yeah.
But anyway, all right. Well, let's wrap this up. So for this week, just kind of as a special thank you for how good the first two videos went over. We've been having a discussion and kind of an argument between us that Opus 4 was like a good set, and I think it's overrated personally. I think that it wasn't as good as everyone thinks. So if you do me a favor and you hit the like button and you comment down below what your favorite set was or what you think the best set was, I'll pick a random winner and I'll send you 5 packs of that set. So just all you gotta do, like, comment down below your favorite set. I'll send you 5 packs. And if you win.
Because everybody's gonna be commenting.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Giveaway.
Right.
I'm gonna comment.
One person, 5 packs. So
When's the date? When's the due date?
when's the due date? Let's say September 1st.
September 1st.
September
All
1st.
right.
Today's the 28th.
Hmm.
So get on there, get those entries in, and I'll pick somebody. But I do appreciate it all, and we will see you guys next time. Bye-bye!